Over the past few days, I've had some requests from people to do a video on the flat earth theory. Very interesting topic, very polarizing topic. I usually find it goes one of two ways with people. Either they'll get completely consumed by it, or they'll go the opposite direction and shun it, call it nonsense, and they don't even want to talk about it. Now, first, here's my views on the issue. I do think it's nonsense, but I don't think it shouldn't be talked about. You see, I think it's actually very important to talk about because then you can show people how to discern and why this PSYOP was created, what they're trying to hide from us or confuse us with, or why they're trying to waste our time, right? So in this video, I will talk about a couple premises of the flat earth theory, the philosophical and historical things I hear that I'll just offer some perspectives about to maybe bring some common sense into the picture. But I'm going to discuss more so why I think the earth needs to be round, why a spinning ball is important, and what they might be trying to hide by putting flat earth PSYOPs out into the public domain. So I'm not going to combat the negative, I'm not going to focus on flat earth, I'm going to simply show a better way, talk about spin, why spin or torsion is crucial, and what that then leads us to in the realm of esoteric science, hidden science. So anyway, sit back, let's go ahead and roll that intro and get into it, guys. Bah. Alright, so one thing I want to say really quick is that one cool thing about this flat earth topic is that it'll really help hone your discernment skills. Because if you go onto videos like this one, you'll see the thousands of comments this video will probably get, and there'll just be a ton of ridiculous statements, oh, space is fake, or just blatant mis and disinformation put by various trolls in the comments, and then you'll also see how many dislikes this video will get. So this flat earth theory, if you look into it with some critical thinking skills, you'll really get to see how these online PSYOPs and the trolls and algorithms work. So that is one cool thing about it. But anyway, let's get into what's on the board here. So like I said, I'm going to go over a couple premises that I often hear people say in regards to this flat earth theory and offer some helpful perspectives about them, and then we're going to go into why a spinning earth is important and what they're trying to hide from us in a spinning earth. So first premise, NASA or the deep state lies to us about everything. They lie about everything. This cabal, this new world order, all they're trying to do is lie to you and brainwash you, so that automatically means that the earth isn't round, it's flat. Very slippery slope that happens there. The earth isn't round, it's flat, because they lie about everything. Well, not necessarily. NASA or the deep state, they don't lie about everything. Granted, yes, absolutely. NASA is a total smokescreen to make you think that rockets are still the most advanced, amazing technology we have, and there's no secret space programs that are operated in secret that have already perfected anti-gravity or electrogravitic technology. Yes, NASA is a total smokescreen. Yes, the deep state lies to us about a whole lot of stuff in our medical books and our physics books and our history books. But that does not necessarily mean that everything's so black and white. That doesn't mean they lie to us about every single thing. For instance, every day I follow various YouTube channels that put out videos on space weather and cosmic science. They're often referencing various instruments made or operated by NASA, whether it's satellites or ground-based systems or things like that, and there's a lot of data that comes through those that is reported on these YouTube channels. Now, does that automatically mean the SOHO satellite or the radar system that we're tracking on the ground is giving us false data? No, definitely not. There's a lot of smart scientists that are operating those things and getting very good data. But what goes wrong is when the establishment takes that data, then they cleanse it and they twist it and they spin it to put in the textbooks to fit their specific narrative. And that could be about anything. That could be about vaccines or GMOs or climate change or our history or, you know, theoretical physics, right? So, point being, premise number one, just because they lie to us a lot doesn't mean they lie to us about everything. Yes, NASA is a total smokescreen for a lot of things in regards to space. But that doesn't mean that everything's bullshit. You know, and I could go into a topic like the fake moon landing here. That'd be really good to describe NASA, but I think that's a topic for another video. But I'll just say, yes, I think we got to the moon. I don't think they told us everything of what they found there, but I also think they did make fake videos just to put out for various regions in the future. You see? Not so black and white. Could be multiple layers, could be gray out there. You see what I'm saying? So let's get to premise number 2 here. Philosophical misunderstandings. And this is a huge one that I see a lot of people put out there, and of course, by people I mean a lot of them are probably online trolls, but again, there's a lot of very well-meaning truth seekers who might just be getting into breaking free from the mainstream cuffs around their consciousness and just trying to figure out what reality is, and they unfortunately get caught up by this issue. And the philosophical misunderstandings is a big one I see confuse people. So, for instance, for example, there's a famous Tesla quote. And let me read it here real quick. Had to get my iPad here just so I made sure I had it right. Though free to think and act, we are held together like the stars in the firmament with ties inseparable. These ties cannot be seen, but we can feel them. So, with Nikola Tesla saying that quote, just because he said the word firmament, a lot of people say, oh, he must have been talking about a flat earth. But if you actually look at the context behind that Nikola Tesla quote in regards to all the other research and things Nikola Tesla said, what he was likely referring to as the firmament was the ether, was the all-encompassing space-time, time-space fluid that we all move through all the time that connects us all, right? He wasn't talking about some, you know, flat thing with a dome with holes in the dome that are the stars. No, it makes no sense. Firmament, he meant, was ether. Simple as that. And that's just one example. There's multiple examples. I think I've seen a few from the Bible and other people that are completely misquoted, taken out of context. And, oh, that's my evidence right there for the flat earth. So, there's the 2 premises that I really wanted to cover just to help you hone your critical thinking skills, to really take a minute to bring context into the picture or understand it's not so black and white, and think a little deeper behind all these things. But now I want to get into the basically second part of this video and the actual scientifics of why spherical, rotating, twisting, torsioning, vorticular, celestial bodies is important. And the first thing I want to get into is the kind of theory of everything premise that all is motion. Everything is motion. And one name, one keyword person here I will drop for you to look into is the work of Dewey B. Larson. I've mentioned him in previous videos. I'll see if I can make one of the things pop up, wherever it does up there. And I'll also link a PDF down below of his research, and he came out with a book in the 1970s that was saying that everything is motion. That ether, that fluid-like medium that Tesla was referring to, you could think of it as motion. And it might be on the left brain side of things difficult to comprehend at first, but if you think of motion objectively, everything is moving at all times, okay? From the tiniest of particles within us that are always rotating around with potential or possibility to the largest of stars, galaxies, galactic clusters. Everything is spinning, rotating around each other, and that motion of everything always in this divine dance, if you will, that's what creates space and time, or that fluid-like medium, ether, right? Because space, we're always moving through space, and we're always moving through time as well. That's a big important concept, is that we're always moving through both space and time. And again, another video that I want to do within a week or two here is on the differences between densities and dimensions. I've gotten some questions about that when I've mentioned that in previous videos. Well, what do you mean by by difference between density and dimension. It's very important to distinguish, actually, because we only live in 3 dimensions. Where people often say we have millions of dimensions. No, we only have 3. Up, down, left, right, front, back of space. We have 1 dimension of time, forward, back. We're in a linear time differential right now. When you get into what Dewey B. Larson called the cosmic sector, as opposed to the material sector that we're in right now, we're in physical space. When you get into the material sector, that's when you get into a realm where time is 3-dimensional, space is 1-dimensional. And to get into that cosmic sector is when you're moving past the speed of light. So when you move past the speed of light, you move from physical sector to cosmic sector. For instance, like a UFO or a black project craft, when the particles of the craft, because of the static electricity that's pumped into it, when those particles move past the speed of light, boom, that craft goes interstellar, if you will, and can move faster than the speed of light. Actually, it moves longitudinally, point to point. So this is a very important concept. And again, a lot of what I just said over the past minute or two might be, but I'll link some videos again and stuff where you can read more into it. So motion is very crucial. And one thing that motion gives us is this right here, angular momentum. So angular momentum is the idea that there's always 2 forces acting on you at the same time because we're spinning. Centripetal and centrifugal, an in and out force, a compression and a radiation. So spin is crucial to create this angular momentum, and gravity and radiation. Gravity being a compressive force, it's the force that's always moving inward to create matter, and radiation being the energy that's always expressed from it. So that torsion, the idea of spin right here, or vortexing, is, yeah, it's very important. The Earth has to be a round spinning ball creating torsion, creating that vortex of energy to then have gravity and radiation as components. And here you can look into the work of Walter Russell. Walter Russell did great philosophical science showing how the cube and the sphere are the 2 most fundamental 3D shapes of existence. So there's that. Victor Schauberger, of course, he was doing work with water, but he was vortexing water and actually found gravitational anomalies. Actually, gravity control was a side effect, if you will, of vortexing water in very specific ratios, in very specific ways. And then there's a bunch of other esoteric sciences. I just noted the black project craft, that when it gets a certain magnetic field around it in a torsion shape, right? Actually, if in some of the craft, if you spin mercury in a specific vortexing way and electrify it, that's what creates the electrogravitic or the mass cancellation effects of the craft. Very esoteric sciences. Esoteric in this instance just meaning hidden or suppressed. It's not meaning like cultish or whatnot. A lot of people, when they hear the word occult or esoteric, they get some like visceral, emotional response to it as if it's devilish or satanic. No, I'm just meaning the suppressed sciences here. So by them making a lot of people think that the Earth is flat instead of round, what I often say is that that stops the person's thinking in 2 dimensions. But of course, we don't live in a reality that's 2-dimensional. We live in a 3-dimensional reality. So, getting your mind out of flat Earth into a sphere Earth just simply raises your thinking from 2D to 3D. I'm not saying that flat Earth thinking is bad per se. I mean, there's always positives you can be gleaned from it, but I'm just saying that 3D thinking is much more fun. You get into a lot more secrets of the universe when you think in 3D and rotation and spin. So now I just want to make a couple notes on what a rotating, vortexing Earth shows us. So, of course, like I've been saying, we have that vortexing, spinning Earth, and then we have the magnetic field around it in that torsion shape, the torus. Well, because we always have this gravity vortexing into the Earth and radiation vortexing out of it, that creates a lot of spots on our Earth that are very energetically, we'll say, efficient or energetic anomalies, as we could say. So EMG, I have written down here, electromagnetic. And there's a lot of spots on not only our Earth, but any celestial body that are specifically efficient at conducing the electromagnetogravitics into one. By that, I mean, for instance, Bermuda Triangle. That is one spot where we have an anomaly where you get gravitational distortions in that area, and thus space and time distortions as well, because they go hand in hand, gravity and radiation and space and time. So yeah, a spinning Earth gives us electromagnetic anomalies. That's evidence of a spinning Earth, is things like the Bermuda Triangle and all the other funny spots that are around our planet, but also ley lines. I think I'll drop a picture in here real quick of a ley line map that somebody might have made of the Earth. And you can see where the ley lines intersect. That's where you get these anomalies. But these are like the meridians of the Earth, if you will. You know, you can do acupuncture on a human body to find where the energy flows to the body on the meridians. Same thing as our Earth. Earth as a living being, a conscious being, it has energetic meridians that crisscross on it. And I just simply wanted to make a note of these things right here because, like I said, if you stop your thinking in 2D, you won't understand how, oh my gosh, that's how the Bermuda Triangle works, or that's how a spacecraft can work and plot from point to point to point. Or that's how the ley lines work, or there's actually ley lines on our Earth. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that video. That's about as long as I wanted to rant on the flat Earth theory. I get a little more excited about this stuff than I do this stuff. But anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Remember guys, go ahead and smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Share this video for anybody out there who you think might be able to benefit from it. And I'll be back very soon with some more vids. Peace!